happened! That just happened! Spam those W's in the live show right at me now! How's it going, all you amazing Mets fans? I was trying to get this thing live for the past 5+ minutes, and my computer was giving me all kinds of problems. I couldn't go live on X, but I don't care. We're live solely on YouTube tonight. I want to see those W's spin right here, right now. Edwin Sugar Diaz with the 6-out save. All the New York Metropolitans need is a series victory in Atlanta, and they're in postseason play. Spam those W's right now, all you amazing Mets fans. We got a lot to get into. Brandon Nimmo, more like Brandon Himmo with the heroics yet again. My goodness, my God, my gracious. Tyler McGill didn't even give us beyond 4 innings, and it didn't matter. The bullpen was nails. Edwin Diaz with a 4-out save yesterday follows it up with a 6-out save tonight. 10 outs from Edwin Diaz in 24 hours. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I might pass out tonight, guys. I might pass out. I've had more heart palpitations. I had more stress and more build-up than any other game we have had this season. Like, are you kidding me right now? Spam those effing W's in the live show right here, folks. That is what I want to see. How you doing, all you amazing Mets fans, as you chime in live on a replay to the latest New York Metropolitan postgame show, as the Metsies came in and they took care of business and they win this one, a massive one, by a final score of 2-1. We're going to break down to an absolute T everything that transpired in this matchup, as we always do. The Amazons not only stay afloat in the wild card, but they're back in that 2 spot. They leapfrog Arizona because they got the tiebreaker. Ignore the graphic, that's out of date here. On the pitching end, we're going to get into that bullpen and how sexy it was, headlined by Edwin Sugar Diaz. On the offensive end, my goodness, my God, my gracious, we didn't get a whole lot. Zach Wheeler absolutely carved up this Mets team, but it didn't stop Brandon Himmo. It didn't stop Jose Iglesias. It didn't stop Tyrone Taylor. It didn't stop nobody, everybody. We got a lot to break down. Spam those W's and let's let it rip, as we always do, with the one, the only, the official WardyNYM post-game jingle.
Postgame. Postgame. Calling all Met fans, come and join us now. Talk about this game and gonna break it down. It's Mets Postgame.
Shout out to Greg and Jordan with the official WardyNYM post-game jingle, guys. I legit might pass out tonight. I get it, playoffs hasn't started yet, but it has been playoff fever. It has been a playoff electricity. It has been a playoff atmosphere every single day for the past month plus for the Amazons. So I apologize if I'm a little unorthodox to you. I apologize if you just want to hear some schmuck come up and say, well, the Mets won 2-1 today. What an easy game it was for the Amazons. Oh, Edwin Diaz with a 6-out save. That was that. Let's get ready for Atlanta. Miss me with that bullshit. I don't care. We got to get ourselves hyped up. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 3 out of 4 against Philly after losing 2 out of 3 in Philly. That is how you respond. Woo! Oh, baby. My goodness. My goodness, how you doing, everybody? Again, it wasn't a sexy game, but it didn't need to be sexy. You just gotta win, baby. Like, that's all the boys gotta do. The same way that Aaron Rodgers won on Thursday. The same way my Steelers won today over those Chargers. Sorry, Borna. SR with the $5 house says, Phillies want to clinch the playoffs, not in our house. Not in our house, baby. The Phillies legit, all they needed was a series split to clinch the division, and it could not happen. Why? Because the Amazons is what happened. SR with the $5 hollow. Thank you so much again for that. I greatly appreciate that. Let's go up in the show here. Hey Jack with a $5 hollow. Hey Jack says, let's effing go Mets. Excuse my language, but had to spell that one out. Edwin is a go. 2 game up into Atlanta here is huge. Let's go indeed. Wax, thank you so much for the new membership. Greatly appreciate that. We got more comments. Dave with the $10 hollow says, Nemo and Sugar, big win. LFGM, time to destroy Los Bravos. I 100% agree, Dave. Thank you so much. And speaking about Dave, for those that don't know, an amazing follower on the channel. He sent me this little old Grimace not all that long ago. And since Grimace has been back at Citi Field, the Mets have only lost 1 game. It is the Grimace effect. Shout out to Mets Junior 69 on X. They know. A great Mets fan that makes custom Mets pins gifted me a Grimace Mets pin that has a Mets hat on it. That is the sickest thing. Put him on the Grimace plushie right away, and that's how the vibes are riding high in Queens right now. Dave, thank you so much for the holla. We see Cam with a $2 holla says, "What a game for Mets starters and relief pitchers. An all-around effort. This was exactly how you make a statement. Oh, you thought your confidence was shot because Kodai Senga's season's done. Last time I checked, the Mets have played the whole year without their ace, and that hasn't really wavered from them having success and being the most dominant team in Major League Baseball since the start of June. Does that not get you hyped up? How does that not get you hyped up? Cam, thank you so much. Anthony, when the $10 holla says, "They will not clinch on our field. I called it 3 out of 4. LGM, now take 2 out of 3 in Atlanta. Take 2 out of 3 indeed, Anthony. Thank you so much. Oh, I can't wait for that Hotlanta series. We're going to be previewing it live here tomorrow, folks. Stay tuned. Caution, great member. Thank you so much for the $5 holla. Appreciate that a lot. We got another one. My man Hyper with the $10 holla says, "New York Rangers preseason dub and Mets dub. Let's go, LGR and LFGM." Thank you for the donations, my man. Hype in the chat, indeed, for all my Ranger fans out there. Everyone's like, "Wardy, breathe. How can I breathe after an amazing victory like this? Can we rapid fire? Can we break it down?" Let's do exactly that, everybody. Please make sure to smash that like and subscribe on if this is your first time watching, or if you're a recurring viewer. Help join the channel if you haven't already. Help us get to our next short-term goal, 27K, our largest platform here on YouTube, not directly affiliated with the Mets themselves. And this is your latest New York Metropolitan postgame show, officially presented to you by BetUS. Check out BetUS by using Wardy's promo code YouTube150. That way, YouTube get a 150% bonus on your first deposit, and then 125 bonus on your next two. Thank you so much for all your sports betting needs. And I did a 2-leg parlay, folks, with the Chiefs tonight and the Bills tomorrow. We'll see how that does. I'll see what the Chiefs game status is because I haven't checked it all. I've been way too locked in on this Mets game right now. Sadu with the $5 holla says, "Meow's pitching decisions were great. LFGM, indeed, my man. Mendy's pitching decisions were brilliant today. Absolutely brilliant." Let's see. Someone said, "Run the jingle back." All right, guys. We'll run the jingle one more time and let's break down this masterful victory. I want to answer your questions. I want to get at everything you got to say. I'm going to get on my tomato face self a little bit more cooled down than what I typically am. I digress. Let's let it rip one more time, one final time for the OGs and the newbies. Our official WardyNYM post-game jingle, baby.
Postgame. Postgame. Calling all Met fans, come and join us now. Talk about this game and gonna break it down. It's Mets Postgame.
Shout out to my guys Greg and Jordan once more. Thank you guys all so much for spamming those W's. What is your initial reaction? What's the big takeaway here? Because I'm sorry, if your big takeaway is anything other than Edwin Diaz brilliance, bullpen dominance, Carlos Mendoza's supremacy there with the decision making, I don't know what is. Pat, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Pat says, "Breathe. We took care of business this series. Now on to Atlanta, the literal graveyard of playoff hopes past. Great job, Nimmo, Diaz. Vientos not striking out all over the game like he did yesterday. And Taylor, let's see, Cy Gillihan tough. Yes, he did. An all-around team effort in this one. I cannot get over this Mets team, guys. I simply can't. You want to talk about riding high around a club? You guys want to be pumped up. You know, Carlos Mendoza, speaking on Edwin Diaz, just said the following: "It's big boy time now," when discussing his six-out save. If that doesn't get you hyped up, if that doesn't make you want to run through a brick wall for Carlos Mendoza and this team, I don't know what is. I love the aggressiveness by Carlos. Big dick swing and saying, "You know what? We're facing the heart of the Phillies lab there in the 8th. Let's throw Edwin out there." And you know what? If Edwin looks good to start the 9th, let's just keep him in there. Why? We got an off day tomorrow. Yes, did Edwin Diaz just gift you 10 outs in a 24-hour span? Is Edwin Diaz our saving grace right now? Without question. But that's what you pay him the big bucks for. So to anyone Edwin saying, oh my goodness, his elbow's gonna be Swiss cheese. Missed me with the nonsense. He missed over a year with injury. He's on a $100 million contract. It's almost like you pay him the big bucks for a reason. Edwin Sugar Diaz, who has blown numerous save opportunities for the Mets this year, has not been nails consistently the way that we have hoped, has not only defied the odds, but has really made all Mets fans gain a confidence now after what we just saw transpire. It's not like Edwin Diaz just did this in back-to-back games and casual games. It's in a playoff-type atmosphere against your arch rival, leading the way in the NL East, and you shut the door down on back-to-back nights where they know exactly what they're getting. You're getting that fastball to 100, 101 up in the tits. You're getting the slider down in a way that's just looking absolutely disgusting and simply not fair. Even when you have the playbook, even when you have the answers, it simply doesn't matter when you're facing prime-time Edwin Sugar Diaz. My man AZ, who was at the Mets game on Friday along with myself. Sadly, the Amazons lost, but one good thing was interacting with so many amazing Mets fans like my man AZ here, a longtime follower. He says, let's effing go, baby. What an important series win against the bum-ass Phillies. Mets W. Put in the books. Put in the books, baby. I am 100% not going to have a voice for the first half tomorrow. I got a Bleacher Report segment tomorrow, folks. By the way, I think it's around 3 p.m. Eastern or so. We're doing wild card prediction. We're doing playoff predictions in the BR app. Check it out, not just on Mets, but as playoffs as a whole. I'll enlighten you guys again tomorrow. You are the absolute man. Justin, right back at you, baby. Right back at you. All, each and every one of you are the best men and women here on the planet. You are amazing supporters, and I just want to say one final thing, folks. One final thing before we break down the ball game. Thank you. If it isn't for you guys, nothing that we do here on the platform is possible. The reason why we got roughly 1,000 concurrent viewers live on YouTube alone right now is because of you amazing Mets fans. The reason why we have been the #1 Mets platform on YouTube for 3.5 years as an independent content creator is because of each and every one of you. And now that your boy Wardy is on the scene, going in studios to SNY from time and time again, and yes, there will be another opportunity more than likely. I'm very excited about that. That is all thanks to each and every one of you. Seriously, I was beyond taken back by the endless comments of congratulations and appreciation that you guys saw me in the city the other day. It meant the absolute world to me. I cannot thank Brandon London enough and Dexter Henry, two fantastic hosts there at SNY New York Post there for their sports short segments, and I cannot wait to interact and work with them again. So thank you guys so much for the love there. I just want to share that from, one Mets fan to another. You guys have made my dream continue to be a reality, and I can never, and I mean never, not forget to let you know how much I greatly appreciate it every single day. Pat, thank you so much for the $2 holla. Appreciate that. Atlanta series win 1, great. Win 2, control our faith. Absolutely, Pat. Thank you so much for the donation. Anthony says, thank God for third base, by the way. Oh my goodness gracious. The fact that that ball did not get past Vientos. I was sitting there like, holy shit, there's no way this is happening. There is no way the Philadelphia Phillies are tying this ball game in the most Metsian fashion possible, yet that is exactly what almost happened, but it didn't happen enough. Enzo, thank you so much for the kind words, too. I really appreciate that. All you guys, let's rapid fire and let's break down this damn ball game, okay? My goodness, my God, my gracious. The Amazons just took 3 out of 4 against Philly, and on a count of 3, everybody, again, earmuffs, kiddos. We love our sponsors. Yes, we do, but we love profanity. Yes, we do. I'm only half joking here, guys, because we're in the heated playoff race right now, because we're amped up. For all my, kiddos out there, please put the earmuffs on now. If you guys are, of age, of respectable age, and you know the F word, and you want to put a PH in front of it, that way we can give it the proper Philly treatment. If we could give ourselves a quick, F Philly on a 1, 2, 3, the same way that we say if you hate the Braves or Braves suck, give me a hell yeah. Let's do a F Philly on 1, 2, 3, spam it right now. Spam in the comments down below. We gotta let it rip. Why? Because this is the last time we're facing the Phillies until next time, potentially in the postseason, if anything. So let's let it rip now. On 1, on 2, on 3. Fuck Philly. I gotta let it rip. I'm sorry. It might offend some of you. Really don't care. Really talking about my Mets. That's all I care about at the moment. JTM with the $5 holla says, let's go, Wardy. What a game. What a series. Citi Field was electric this weekend. My wife is hooked on this team. Just for some context, everybody, my amazing, my gorgeous, my beautiful girlfriend was a Phillies fan prior to us meeting, and yet she's jumping for joy here, acting like a kid in a candy shop since then every time the Amazons come up to play. It's almost like Wardy is the difference maker. It's almost like the Amazons have something brewing in Queens that's something to be excited about. Yes, your boy did that. Yes, if I can convert someone, you can convert him too. Let's continue to take the masses down. Get him out of Philly. Let's have more amazing Mets fans in here. Let's make good things happen. Thank you guys for the donations. Alex, thank you so much for the holly. Says amazing series, freaking awesome, great job, bro. What's the magic number? All we need is a series victory against Atlanta. We're in. That's all we need. Now I am not only focused on winning that damn series, but what's happening with Arizona? I want the Arizona to continue to lose. They face San Diego the final series. I hope the Padres sweep their ass. Thank you so much for the donation. Really, really appreciate that, Alex Soto in the chat. Oh, we're sweating bullets tonight, baby. We're sweating bullets. We're flicking it back at you. All right, guys, let me flick at you here. This amazing victory by a final score 2-1. Let's rapid fire. Let's do this together. Right, locked and loaded. Woo! TJ, thank you so much for the $5 holla. I appreciate that. It's officially Sevy, Pearson, Mania versus Schwellenbach. What a schmuck name. Sale and Free. Thoughts on the matchups? I'm going to expand on this more tomorrow, but right now, I love the matchups. Those are the three guys I want pitching in this series. David Pearson got rocked his last start. I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt, and he has a lot of experience there in Atlanta. Not all great experience, but he has experience there. And between Sevy and Mania, our true-headed horseman, if you will, not named Jose Quintana in this rotation, I'm definitely feeling solid about it, but it's going to be a battle. The Braves are fighting for their playoff lives. It would not shock me if they won this series, but I have the utmost confidence in my Mets team to go out there and get the job done. Because even as intimidating as Chris Sale and Max Fried are, I'm not intimidated all that much when I look at this Mets lineup. I'm not all that intimidated when I look at the overall construction of this Mets team. I know that there's a great opportunity for this Mets team to have a fancy run this year, to say the least. Maybe not a deep run, but an exciting and fancy one. It's all thanks to the contributions they've gotten the past couple months. Because of that reason alone, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my goodness, it's Chris Sale. I'm so scared. What's he going to do? We all know what Chris Sale's going to do at his best. He's going to give you 7 shut. He's going to strike out 11, right? That's what you expect with Chris Sale. So if you get up on him, if you get a couple runs, that could be the difference maker if you're Simone Southpaw and Sean Manaea is dealing. Or if David Pearson gives you maybe 6 strong of 2 or 3 earned runs. Sevy, let's get 6 to 7 strong, tops 3 earned runs. Just keep us in the ball game. Zach Wheeler, everybody, entering tonight's game, has given up 2 runs or fewer in his past 14 of 15 starts. Make that now 15 of 16, but make that an L, baby, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you got a pitching masterclass going toe-to-toe. Zach Wheeler might go 8+. But look, Tyler McGill for 4. We see Mr. Phil Maton for 2. And we see the rest of this bullpen there between Mr. Jose Budo with an absolute bulldog 7th inning there with a pair of strikeouts. And Edwin Sugar Diaz there was shutting the door with 6 outs to conclude this ball game. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a little confident in my Mets right now. They're balling out even without their most important player, who is going to return as soon as this Tuesday when the series begins. So yes, it's a soul for a soul, if you will. We lose Kodai Senga for the rest of the regular season. We gain Francisco Lindor. It is what it is. This is how the baseball gods just go about these things. It's out of my control. You want to complain there. Don't complain here. But guys, let's break this ball game down. Oh, I'm going bananas. By the time we're done with this show, I'm going to have to rain out my shirt because how nasty it's filled with all the amazing sweat in there. Gates with a $5 haul says Acuna to help the Mets into the playoffs over the Braves is going to be sweet to see. You and I both, my man. You and I both. Could you see Luis Angel Acuna balling out? Could you imagine if Luis Angel Acuna is the X-Factor player in a series victory game against Atlanta this week? Could you imagine? Because I can imagine, and I'm speaking that shit into existence right here, right now. Gates, thank you for doing the same. D. Wilson with a $5 haul says, let's go Mets. Mets fan since I was born in 62. D, I love you. Thank you so much for the endless support and generosity. It really does mean a lot, my friend. I hope you're doing fantastic, everybody. Continue to spam those W's, and now, folks, let's break this down, because in the first inning, we got ourselves the matchup kicking off with Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber isn't getting the leadoff bomb tonight. No, he's striking his ass out there as we see quick work done for the Mets and for Mr. Tyler McGill. Trey gets on with a single there. Trey gets on, 1 on, no out. one-on-one out here. A wild pitch that allows Trey Turner then to get to second base. Bryce Harper strikes out. Beautiful strikeout there on Harper. Bohm with an RBI single, so right away the Mets are already down in an early jam, 1-0. Tyler McGill afterwards would give up a single to Castellanos. He then gives up a walk to Stott. It's bases loaded, 2 outs, and Tyler McGill works out of that jam, at least limiting the damage to that 1 run. This would be vital for Tyler McGill and the Mets, because if it isn't for McGill to escape that jam, only allowing that 1 earned run, the Mets may very well go on to lose this ball game. Thank you guys for the donations here. I'm going to screenshot them both, and I'm going to answer them as soon as we're done rapid fire breaking down the ball game. So Francisco, Dave, I promise I will get to your comments here soon, everybody. Let's see. Wardy Braves will rip. We'll see what happens with Atlanta. Don't you worry. That was an FU strikeout. There was a lot of FU strikeouts we saw in this matchup, and Edwin Diaz was right in the thick of it all, baby. Right in the thick of it all. Charlie with the $2 holla. Thank you so much. He says, I love this team, but please bench JDM. Appreciate that donation, and yes, I feel like we're going to see more of that, whether you love it or hate it. It's more than likely going to happen. Dave and Francisco, thank you for those donations. I want to answer those at great length here in just a couple minutes. So before I do, let's continue to break down the ball game, because it's 1-0 Phillies early that we see throughout the first, right? So we get to the bottom of the first. In the bottom of the first, Jose Iglesias continues the hit spree, folks. Let's make it now 16 games recorded straight with a hit for Mr. OMG himself. Mind you, Jose Iglesias is just the second player in Major League Baseball history to have recorded a 13-game hitting streak or more now with 5+ teams. I think he's done with 5, if not 6 teams in his career. And that isn't a contact hitting god. I don't know what is. Jose Iglesias continuing the heroics as always. Anthony, thank you for the donation too. We're going to get to that comment here after we rapid fire break down this amazing victory by a final score of 2-1. But the Mets get on there with Iglesias with a single to kick off the ball game. Pete Alonso, who sadly strikes out looking in his first at bat of the day, gets a gorgeous standing ovation from the Citi Field crowd there. Late night Sunday night game broadcasted on ESPN, which absolutely no one asked for. But hey, it's a late night game, so you like the odds of the Mets winning far greater than you do in a day game on Sundays, where they have been absolutely horrendous. And leave it to it still being a pitching masterclass, a 2-1 final this matchup. I mean, of course it is, right? The same way, of course, for the Mets, we would see them try to get something going early to retaliate right away after being down 1-0. Alonso, after that great standing no, nothing else transpires. We're through 1 inning. The Mets are down 1 run. In the second, Tyler McGill, he strengthens up and he has himself a gorgeous second inning. And we're going to expand more on McGill and this Mets bullpen here shortly as we do our pitching breakdown and a bit more on the offensive breakdown. Our man Isaac Rothman is back with his latest pitching report. And for those that don't know Isaac, he is a nightly contributor on the channel, a pitching guru who has been having a lot going on right now as a young student, doing amazing things here, actively involved in the analytics community, especially in really trying to find the best information to find the best pitchers and to really learn more about pitching than you're going to see with the average fan. Isaac has a lot to say on Tyler McGill and some of these relievers tonight, so we're going to expand on his notes here later on in the show, so be wary of that, folks. Really looking forward to getting into more of that advanced breakdown, if you will. MZ3 says, let's effing go, baby. Nick Bowden, LFGM, the Mets only need 2. They need a series victory against the Atlanta Braves to, in fact, secure playoffs. That's all the Mets need, a series dub. They don't need to sweep Atlanta. They need 2 out of 3 against Atlanta, and that's wraps. They at least will be in playoff play, folks. That is what they need. Steve, Sean, great members, all my great members watching live on a replay. Mike, Kosh, and Alberto, thank you all so much for taking the time. My donations, I will get to you guys shortly. Shraken, how you doing? Everybody, anyone that I missed too, Dominic, thank you guys so much for being here, as always. In the bottom of the second, though, for the Amazons, we would see with 2 outs, Marky V, more like Swaggy V, Daddy V, however you want to call him, gets on here with a double. After the 2-out double from Mark, we would see the run driven in. Why? Because Tyrone Taylor has that flair for the dramatic, and Tyrone Taylor continues to warn playing every single day over someone such as Harrison Bader. Nothing personal, Harrison, but you have not been that guy the past month, and Tyrone Taylor absolutely has. Tyrone drives in the run, ties the ball game for the Amazons, and right after Luis Angel Acuna, who had tremendous defense yet again in this matchup, we saw Acuna have himself an infield dribbler right down the third baseline, and that will ultimately have him safe at first base with an infield hit. Iglesias strikes out to end the inning, but the Mets at least tack on, and they tie this ball game here as we head to the third. And in the third, we would see Trey Turner fly out. Bryce Harper strikes out 97 up and away, brilliantly placed there by Tyler McGill. And Bohm strikes out looking. A quick 1-2-3 inning of work against some key batters there for the Philadelphia Phillies is Tyler McGill. The Mets do nothing on the offensive end, so we advance there to the fourth inning. And the fourth, we would see Castellanos then get on base there with a single, and then he would ultimately get to second base thereafter on a wild pitch. Nicky C, then from there we would see, hopefully, would the Mets be able to get out of this jam? They would, in fact, be able to do exactly that. Because even though McGill gets the McGill throws the wild pitch for Castellanos to get to second base. Marsh gets on with a walk. That's all she wrote, though. Rojas with a ground out ends the inning. As we then head, an inning later, because the Mets do nothing in the fourth, and we see Tyler McGill there is done for the day after 4 strong innings, everybody. I'm really curious if you guys had to give a rating for Tyler McGill and what was a shortened outing, still a strong one, but not a deep one at all. 4 innings of 4 hit, 1 earned run baseball, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Had a really tough time in the first inning, but allowed just 1 run in that bases loaded jam and really settled down nicely afterwards. Tyler McGill, I'm curious what your final line is going to be for him on a scale of 1 to 10. Let me see in the live show and the comments down below. Same applies. Thank you all so much for doing exactly that. That's the laser on Tyler McGill as Phil Maton will then come in. And as you see from the numbers right there, Phil Maton takes care of business. The soft tossing right-hander continues to look like the brilliant acquisition along with Ryan Stanek and the other key pieces that David Stearns added to this Metropolitan bullpen pre-trade deadline, mind you. And the Mets on the offensive end, they try to get something going as Tyrone Taylor in the bottom of the 5th, after a nice 1-2-3 inning work there by Phil Maton, the top of the inning, we see Tyrone get on with his second hit of the day, this time another single, and then Luisano Acuna grounds out, and that would lead him to get on to first with the force out. He tries to lay down a bunt, which I commend him for, not something that he's really done much at the minor league level, but the bunt was too hard. It goes right back to Wheeler. He gets the force out quickly there, that being in Tyrone Taylor. So there's 1 on, 1 out, and the Mets would do nothing else there in the inning. Why Jose Iglesias sadly strikes out, and Mr. Luisano Acuna is trying to steal a bag, is thrown out. It is a gorgeous, beautifully set, strike him out, throw him out, double play to end the inning there for Zach Wheeler, JT Realmuto, and the Philadelphia Phillies. As we then advance to the 6th inning, we would see another 1-2-3 inning work there done by Phil Maton. He gets Bohm, Castellanos, and Stott all out, a line out, a fly out, and a ground out. All different types of outs, but all important outs for the soft tossing right-hander. Then as we get to the bottom of the 6th, everybody, and I've spoken about this how many times to each and every one of you, to all my followers on the channel. Brandon Nimmo, more like Brandon Nimmo. I even spoke on SNY the other day. He has such a flair for the dramatic against the Philadelphia Phillies. This not only goes back to 2022 when the Mets had a lot of heroics in the first half of the season, some rallies there in Philly as well, but also what we've seen just throughout his career. He's had some massive hits. Brandon Nimmo, who's continued the home run heroics, does it big time. And this would be the game winner, everybody. He just gets that one out there. He rips a big one right there. That just is out of the reach, I believe, of Castellanos. That makes it a 2-1 ball game. Brandon Nimmo, more like Brandon Nimmo, his 22nd home run this season, gives the Mets a 2-1 lead, and they thankfully would never look back. We would see Jose Butto come in and absolutely shut the door in the 7th, striking out a pair there that we saw in JT Realmuto and Cody Clemens, and then we see a half inning later, Francisco Eltro Alvarez gets on with a walk, but nothing else transpires. That then leads us naturally to the 8th inning, and the 8th inning, okay, who's getting the call? Cue the trumpets, baby. It's Edwin Sugar Diaz time. By a show of hands, how many of you had confidence when Edwin Diaz came in there in the inning? Did you think that as soon as that happened, that the Mets were golden, that they were going to find themselves winning this ball game? Did you think Edwin was going to choke potentially in the 6-out save situation? Whatever your guys' thoughts are, please let me know in the comments in my live show and in my replay viewers down below. And of course, wherever we are in the like count, everybody, if you guys could help us get to 300 plus likes by the end of the live show, to our roughly 800 live concurrent viewers, that'd be greatly appreciated. Less than a half of you guys, all you need to do is hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, because we cover the Mets every single night. We're the largest platform to do so, because we have been the most consistent platform to do so, basically 24/7, 365. Even as a new dad, we are not changing anything here. Yes, there will be times naturally where I'm not here as much because I'm a dad and there are more important things in life, but when it comes to the day-to-day grind here and grinding out everything regarding the Amazons, there's nowhere else to look, there's nowhere else to be than what we have here at Wardy's Place. So thank you guys all so much for the endless support there. I greatly appreciate appreciate that. And yeah, we had a lot of fans nervous, right? Everyone's putting their hands up. Don't act like a schmuck. Don't act like you weren't one of those fans. Because even with myself having somewhat of a confidence level, knowing that Edwin had a 4-out save yesterday is exactly why I am not excited about the idea of Edwin. You know, maybe the velo's a little down, you know, sitting around 97. All right, we having some fans concerned. I wasn't overly there. I understood they pitched yesterday, but with the Mets having the off day tomorrow, I was like, you know what? Let's just see what the hell happens. You have to make a statement sometimes, and this was a statement victory. This was a statement save for Edwin Diaz, and this puts not only the Philadelphia Phillies on notice, but this puts every other contending team pushing for postseason play, expected to be in playoffs, on notice on what they could deal with the Amazons and a tight pitching duel of a ball game where our bullpen, who has the highest strikeout rate in all Major League Baseball over the past number of months, is going to come out and shut the door down when they are right. As long as they're not walking everyone their mother, great things tend to happen. What do we see here after Kyle Schwarber strikes out there? Oh, it's almost like your little ESPN segment mic'd up, you know, showing how you take your at-bats. Only did he so much, Kyle. Trey Turner then gets on with the 1-out single, and then he steals second base, his 18th stolen bag of the year, the schmuck that he is. Then he steals third base there that we see with 2 outs because Bryce Harper strikes out beautifully. Gorgeous job there by Edwin Sugar Diaz. And then Alec Boehm there grounds out sharply, and that does it, folks. There in the 8th inning, the Mets do nothing in the 8th inning. They decide to pinch it. JD Martinez, there was some belief, could Francisco Lindor be back and pinch hitting tonight? Carlos Mendoza said it was a possibility. In a 1-run ball game, we still opted for JD Martinez over Jesse Winker there, and JDM strikes out pretty much on 3 or 4 pitches, as you'd expect. A cold bat off the bench that's now 0 for his last 31 or so. It's almost like I'm not shocked with that entire situation transpiring the way that it did. On the Edwin Diaz front, we advance to the 9th inning, everybody. And after that fly out there to Nick Castellanos, it's a Bryson Stott walk. Right away, I'm going to be blunt. I'm not going to lie to you. As soon as that happened, I said to myself, oh, we're fucked. That's the first thing that I said. I'm not going to lie. I saw right away a walk and a blast. That was the first thing I had in my head. Just because we are pessimistic Mets fans at times. We have seen this story before. We have seen Edwin blow it in times where he just feels like everything's finally going right. It doesn't make sense. I thought this was a prime time for Edwin to blow it, and he didn't. He absolutely proved me wrong. He proved everyone wrong here. After we would see there Bryson Stott get on with a walk, of course he steals his 30th bag of the year, that being in second base. JT Realmuto with a strikeout, a massive strikeout there, and somehow, some way, the throw doesn't get past Mark Vientos at third base. It keeps Stott there at third, but there's a runner on third. There's 2 outs to face Brandon Marsh. It's a 4-pitch walk to Brandon Marsh for Edwin Diaz. Edwin's like, I don't want to challenge Brandon. I'm not feeling it. Let's charge Cody Clemens. And what does he do? He throws 100.8 miles per hour right past Cody there that we see, and he ultimately gets that man striking out, swinging beautifully. And the Amazons, after what was a sweaty one, a far from comfortable one, a far from easy one, take 3 out of 4 against the Philadelphia Phillies. They control their destiny, and they are now, yes, you heard that correctly, folks, just a series victory away against the Atlanta Braves in Atlanta from securing their playoff fate. Yes, you heard that, folks. All the Mets need is 2 out of 3 over the next couple days. Very much reasonable. Yes, it will be difficult. Would not shock me if the Braves do end up winning this series just because they're going to play for their playoff lives. Then the Mets have the Brewers for the final series. God willing, the Mets can take 2 out of 3, put the hammer down. They have done this at Atlanta before. Braves fans are going to be as obnoxious as they possibly can be. This is their dying wish. This is their last hurrah. We need to put the nail in the coffin, and we have to do it in Atlanta. This is how you make up. And I repeat, this is how you make up for 2022. Faltering the division, losing that series the way that you did, this is how you respond. 2023 is a wash. No one gives a shit about that. 2024 is all that we're cared about, all that we're locked in on right now, and a so-called punt year, that's some belief for the Amazons. They need 2 out of 3 in Atlanta to take them down and to secure their playoff berth. Get the job done, boys. I know you got in ya. You're so close to being in there. We can taste it. We can taste the playoffs. Just give us the whole effing meal. I don't want a sliver of it anymore. I want the whole damn thing. And all you guys want the whole damn thing too. Now, speaking of you guys, let's get into some comments that you guys got from me real quick. And then I'm going to continue on to break down a bit more on Tyler McGill and the pitching outing, a bit more on the offense, and then we'll do a sliver of a preview heading into the Braves series, but we'll expand on that with an official series preview tomorrow, so make sure you guys are on the lookout for that. But we seen in the chat earlier, my man Francisco with the $10 house says, Sugar, oh my God. Take it A, bro. 2 up with 6 to go, win series series in Atlanta and we up with 3 to go, I would take a day, but I really want to preview that series tomorrow. So I think we're going to preview the Atlanta Braves series tomorrow at some point. Even if it's later in the evening, not a problem. We're going to get it done more than likely. So I hope to see you guys there, because that's a big series, second and final series of the year where you control your playoff fate. Kind of excited as a Mets fan. Who would have thought? Speaking of the Mets and speaking of you guys, Dave, my man, thank you so much for the donation earlier. Tyler, Mr. Met action figure out the P.O. Box and other stuff will be there soon in a week or so. I'll let you know. Also, I said before, miracle incoming for your 2024 World Series champions, Mets in 7, LFGM. Dave, I don't know what you're smoking, but pass that shit over here, baby, because that's got to be some, ooh, baby, that's got to be some good shit if you're going to be feeling them World Series vibes. But Dave, you have been on it since day one. Hopefully that, in fact, comes to fruition. Thank you so much for everything you're sending my way. You guys heard that correctly. I'm having a Mr. Met action figure sent my way. That's amazing. I'm going to put that right there on, I have my mini fridge actually to my side right now that you guys probably can't see all that well in the frame. Let me try to show. Yeah, you probably can't see it all that well. If I move out the way first, it's right here. And I have a bunch of signed baseballs and bobbleheads and all that cool stuff there. I'll show it off more in the future. But Dave, thank you so much for the donations. Cannot wait to see what you sent my way, my man. Thank you so much for that. And let's see here. Anthony with the $5 haul says, White Sox will break the Mets all-time losing record. Hopefully this changes the Mets' luck for good going forward. Maybe this is a curse that need to be broken going back to the 62 Mets. Maybe you're right, Anthony. I appreciate the donation there. Edward with the $5 haul says, 3 out of 4 time to believe. Absolutely, baby. Thank you so much for the donation, Edward. Hope you're having a fantastic evening. Alvin with the $5 haul says, call it 3 out of 4 now. I'm saying the Mets will take 2 out of 3 from the Braves. Oh, I love the confidence that's oozing out of you guys. You absolutely love to see it. My question to each and every one of you, and the Rabbits are doing fantastic, Ethan. Thank you for asking. My question to each and every one of you is, the Amazons have themselves a huge 3-game set starting Tuesday that we know against this Atlanta Braves team. It's almost like the script has a tendency to write itself. My question to each and every one of you, and I want to see in the comments down below and the live show and the replay viewers, is the following. What is your series prediction? Do you think the Mets are going to win this series? Do you think they're going to lose the series? Do you think they're going to sweep Atlanta? Whatever your thoughts are, let me see it right now, folks. And now let's get into breaking down a bit more on this amazing ball game that we're going to get into in just a second. But final thing that I do want to share with each and every one of you on the topic of just the Amazons right here, right now. Mind you, this is without Francisco Lindor. Luis Angel Acuna has stepped up in more ways than one fan could ever fathom. I'm still floored and jaw-dropped by what Acuna has done on a day-by-day basis, and now you're telling me that Lindor can be back as soon as their next game? Yeah, how are you not optimistic about the Mets? You have a great problem to be had. That's why I asked you guys in my video earlier, would you like to see the Mets potentially consider Vientos getting some reps at DH? That way you can keep Acuna there in the infield this time at second base, shifting Iglesias to third, and having Lindor there at short. Maybe giving Lindor some reps at DH before, they feel fully confident in his defensive abilities. I'm not opposed to that either. With JDM being far from a certainty there at the DH spot, and Jesse Winker only coming in to mainly face right-handed pitching, you do have to wonder if the Mets are going to go to more of a revolving door with that DH position down the stretch for the final couple series that they have. That's another question that I have for each and every one of you, so let me see here. Suzanne says 2 out of 3, but maybe a sweep. I like the optimism there. I'm on the maybe scale as well. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I just want to see the Mets go out there and do their thing, what they have been doing all year long. That is how they're going to find success, and that's how we're going to find ourselves in postseason play. Charles with a $5 haul says, I'm back, baby. Been here since the beginning, aka Lindor offseason. Charles, we all know you very well. Thank you so much for the donation. Happy to have you back in here, back a part of things, brother. And let's go Mets, baby. Absolutely. Hey, brother, great job on SNY, D'Angelo. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate that. It was a blast, and I have to say, I felt so comfortable. I hope that reflected in how I was in my segment, guys. That was the best feeling out of everything. Just under the lights, nothing changed. I actually, I'd argue that I felt more comfortable there than I do even at times when I'm doing some of my live streams, because I didn't even have anxiety getting into it, which was very nice. For my anxiety was through the effing roof 5 seconds prior to the show starting, and it got even worse naturally as I'm getting as amped up and as juvenated as I do, because I'm so excited about the Mets after a big victory like this. But it's impossible for the heart palpitations to not factor in. It's impossible for me to not to at least have one moment where I'm saying I might just pass out because of how excited I am. That is the natural, that is the initial, and that is the raw reaction that you get after an amazing victory like this one, where the Mets need it oh so much. Frank, thank you so much for the previous donation I think you had on the video a day ago. Thank you so much for that, and thank you so much as well for the $5 donation here. Great member says, amazing, at least the Phils did not celebrate. They didn't celebrate. The fact that the Mets were able to make sure the Philadelphia Phillies didn't even find themselves celebrating winning the division is what is so chef's kiss about this entire situation, folks. Now, I want to get into a bit more on the pitching, as I mentioned to each and every one of you. So let's rapid fire. Let's get into all the latest details here, all you amazing Mets fans. Thank you kindly for taking the time. All right, guys. Before we get into a bit more on the pitching and on the offense, let's just talk real briefly as we got some amazing sponsors here that I got chatted up with you all on, and we're going to get into what is currently going on here in this NFL slate. So let's actually see how we did or what we are on the cusp of doing here before we get on to talk a bit about Isaac Rothman's pitcher report, a bit more on the offensive end, and everything in between there. So let me double check here, pull this up 1 second. There we go. That should be good. Awesome. Love to see that. And that looks like that is pending. That is pending. And that is pending. What is the status of the Chiefs game? That's actually what I got to find out right now. Chiefs are up 22-14. There we go. All right, guys. And here we go. Don't know why that didn't pull up, but that's not a problem because we're going to pull it up right here, right now. All right, all you amazing Mets fans, as you guys know, BetUS is our amazing sponsor that has you covered with all your sports betting needs. So if you haven't checked them out already, I don't know what you're waiting for. Simply check them out by going to betus.com.pa. That way you too can use Wardy's promo code YouTube150 and get a 150% signing bonus on your first deposit and then a 125% bonus on your ensuing next two. So a total of 3 bonuses there for you guys for all your sports betting needs. And as you guys can see, we have a 2-leg parlay and individual bets going on. Chiefs money line and Buffalo Bills money line. The Chiefs are currently winning 22-14 there towards the end of the fourth quarter against the Atlanta Falcons. My simple logic is if my Pittsburgh Steelers can beat the Atlanta Falcons, I'd imagine the Kansas City Chiefs should be able to do the same. And then we took the Bills there outright their money line at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Good luck to you all that found yourself tailing these respective bets. But for all your sports betting needs, once more, folks, check out our awesome friends at BetUS. And thank you guys again for hearing me out there, as you always do. To everyone that's went out of their way to sign up, greatly impacts the channel. So thank you guys kindly for doing all those things. Appreciate the donation. Again, Frank, if I hadn't mentioned that array, what are the chances Ohtani goes 60-60? I don't think it's going to happen, but I think Ohtani's going to at least get to 55-55, which is just simply not fair. Even with it being easier to steal bags more than ever, it simply is still not fair. He's a human highlight reel. And, you know, if Lindor didn't get injured, I think we have still a good discussion on MVP, but given his injury as well, you know, it goes without saying that Shohei's obviously going to get it. But man, oh man, I would have loved to see Lindor stay healthy and go all the way to the very end, toe-to-toe between the two. But guys, let's now talk on the pitching end, because there was some brilliance there from not only Tyler McGill and this Mets bullpen. But speaking of McGill, let's list off the following. His 4 innings of 4-hit, 1 earned run baseball, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts at 83 pitches, a sub-4 ERA on the season, and it had all to do with the following pitches. Talking about throwing out the kitchen sink, enter Tyler McGill here. 55% of the arsenal was right around 94 miles per hour there on the 4-seam, and he topped out at 97. He also sat 84.5 and topped out 85.5 on his slider, which he threw 18% of the time tonight. The sinker, which was 16% of the time, he was sitting around 94.5 and topped out there right around 95, 96. The cutter, which was 5% of the arsenal, he's sitting right around 88, topped out 89. The curveball at 4% of his arsenal sat around 80 and topped out 80. Splitter at 2% of the arsenal was sitting right around 84 miles per hour and topped out 85. McGill showed flashes of dominance in this short outing, generating a whopping 13 whiffs in just those 4 innings while effectively mixing in his fastballs. He threw his 4-seam and sinker 71% of the time, with the 4-seam alone generating 11 whiffs and a 41% whiff rate technically. Eno Saris, who is a fantastic writer, does brilliant work on pitching there with The Athletic, has noted how critical McGill's 4-seam fastball velocity is. This goes without saying. It's common sense when McGill has had more success in his MLB career, has been thanks to that consistent fastball, not only sitting 95 plus, but also sitting up and in on some of those batters. That high velocity has been huge there at the top of the zone, leading to success. The pitch performs significantly better both in stuff plus and in whip rates when it's 96 miles per hour or higher, when even a 1 mile per hour to drop to 95, making a noticeable difference. So yes, if he's at 96 plus, you're looking strong. If he's sitting, if he doesn't even touch 96 in his start, is not looking good. Tyler McGill, we saw touched, 97 tonight there, dotting the corners on Bryce Harper up and away. Yeah, you're going to have good things happen. And here's the thing, McGill pitching less allows him to empty the tank more. So if we're going to have ourselves at least one bullpen game, right, where one guy is not going to give us much of a deep outing, I'd rather it be a situation like this, where everyone obviously handles her job, does exactly what they're supposed to do. And then Tyler McGill, again, gives you at least a solid start to things there with 4 solid innings. So McGill sinker, a new addition to his arsenal, a newer one rather, provided him a weapon against righties, though he did flash some effectiveness against the lefties today as well. His performance adds weight to the argument that McGill may be better suited for the bullpen, where he can maximize his velocity and avoid facing lineups multiple times. I am completely in line with Isaac there. I love what Tyler McGill has done, and the Mets will be calling upon him until the rest of the regular season. But once we do reach postseason play, knocking on wood, should the Mets be in there, Tyler McGill will likely be coming out of the bullpen in that situation then. Phil Maton has been stellar since joining the Mets, as we know, posting a 2.1 ERA. His ability to go 2 innings a night was crucial, and since coming to the team, Maton has increased his cutter and curveball usage while reducing reliance on that sweeper that has naturally led him back to having a more effective rate and more of the Phil Maton that we've seen in recent years with the Houston Astros. Mind you, Maton also has well below a sub-1 playoff ERA in like 20 innings or so, when Ryan Stanek has great playoff innings too, both with the Houston Astros in recent years. A lot of experience there. Jose Butto, who's inexperienced, was stepping up and looked like a grizzled vet in this one. He showed impressive velocity today, regularly touching 97 miles per hour and demonstrating excellent fastball control. He was clearly fired up, adding some much-needed energy to the bullpen. Yes, he was. So shout out to our guy in Jose Butto. Shout out Jose Butto. Shout out to this entire Metropolitan bullpen, which is so amazing. Yes, we will be taking callers for at least one of the games, if not 2 games, against the Atlanta Braves. We're not taking any tonight. I apologize, folks, but we will be taking them at least 1 game against Atlanta. That has to happen. I need to hear from you guys, especially if it's after a big victory. We have to break it down. The same way that we have to break down before we get out of here, before we wrap things up soon, on the hitting end, because the Mets did not have much to show for it on their offensive prowess in this one, but it didn't matter. 7-5 there and the hits there, and they actually had some bad luck. Mets expected batting average was 173, or actually they had some luck rather, versus the Phillies had bad luck and expected batting average was 269. 5 hits, 1 run to show for it. Not good. The Mets offense in this one. Jose Iglesias 2 for 4, 16-game hitting streak for the veteran infielder, a 337 average and an 840 OPS. Such a dog in that leadoff spot since stepping up with Lindor being out. Brandon Nimmo, more like Brandon Himmo, with the home run and win the ball game. A 228 average, a 740 OPS, and now 22 home runs on the season for Brandon. Pete Alonso over 4 there with 3 strikeouts. His potential final home game there with the Mets. Hopefully that is not in fact the truth. 3 strikeouts on the day, a 244 average, 802 OPS, and flash of leather nicely there at the first base position. Jesse Winker 0 for 3 today, a 257 average, a 773 OPS. JD Martinez 0 for 1, a 234 average, a 725 OPS. He's really free falling. Starling Marte 0 for 3, a 270 average, a 718 OPS. Harrison Bader, who did not get an at-bat but came in as the late defensive replacement there in center field, a 241 average, a 671 OPS. Francisco Eltro Alvarez 0 for 2 today, a 236 average, a 711 OPS. Mark Vientos there with the double and the run scored, a 268 average, and also a 841 OPS. Tyrone Taylor with a pair of hits that we saw, a 253 average, a 721 OPS, including that masterful RBI that drove in the Mets' first run of the ball game. And we saw how Acuna 1 for 3 with the infield dribbler of a single down the third baseline, a 379 average and a 1,228 OPS. That's at least decent. That isn't terrible, right? These could be worse for Acuna if you ask me, right? Maybe I'm alone in that one. I know I'm not. No less. That's the latest on the offensive end for the Amazons in this matchup. Thank you so much from my man Natch for the $5 donation. If we won the 2, we almost won the last week. Wednesday, only be 1 game back for the division. Insane. That is insane, Curvin. Thank you so much for the endless support and the donation there. Greatly appreciate that. Madeline, I love you too. Thank you so much for the endless support, folks. And with that being said, folks, that is going to now conclude our live segment as the Metsies take down the Philadelphia Phillies by a final score of 2-1. You guys can catch this wherever you get your audio podcasts too, as I will upload this before the night's end. Spotify, Apple, Google, you name it, for all your Metropolitan postgame coverage needs. We have you checked off not only here on YouTube, typically on X, but I had a hiccup and wasn't able to go live on X tonight. We'll also have those features available for you in the coming days again. Hotlanta starts Tuesday. I cannot wait to see you all there. We're going to be riding high, and all we need is 2 out of 3 to secure ourselves that postseason berth. So let's make it happen, baby. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your night, day, evening, whenever you're watching this. Thank you so much for the endless support. Thank you so much for the kind words, and let's effing go Mets. Peace out, folks.